Welcome back to the show, guys. And today we'll be discussing and doing technical analysis on big mega cap stocks. So before we get started, please hit that like button, and that is greatly appreciated. And if you want all types of daily trade ideas, live trading, and everything, and you want to support the channel, definitely head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description for you guys. And now let's get right into the market. All right, so welcome back, everybody, and we'll be discussing and doing technical analysis on some of these big names. But this video is gonna get longer because something I have to show you guys that I've been talking about it in my channel for past couple days, and today it was even more, especially when it comes to the stock market. You can see S&P 500 closes at a record high to usher in May as oil prices cool and Apple rises. So oil prices came down a tiny bit today, but oil prices was going up yesterday, day before, entire week for 2 weeks now, and the market hitting all-time highs, which is kind of insane that market does not care about oil, war, consumer sentiment. I think the market have gone past all that, and market doesn't care anymore. So if you're, looking at those as a catalyst for market to come down, that's not going to happen. What's happening right now in the market, it's all about AI. So if something goes wrong, especially when it comes to these companies talking about AI and spending more and more money on AI, and you see some weakness like we saw with OpenAI, then you're going to see the market acting differently. So we talk about dot-com bubble and how previous crashes happened. Today we're going to talk about if you have seen it all, and if we saw dot-com bubble, what we're witnessing right now is way bigger than what we saw, especially back then with dot-com bubble. Let's get started with earnings. What do we got on deck next week? Bunch of earnings. Palantir, big one right here. Then we have Shopify. We got Pfizer, AMD, the big player, just gapping up and going every day. That's going to be one to watch this week. We got Disney, ARM, another one that is also trading at an all-time high. I think today also had a nice run up. Datadog, Coinbase, Open Door. So lots of earnings coming out this week, upcoming week. Now, this is what I want to talk about here. So this is a chart from TrendSpider. Actually, they posted, and I've been talking about it, guys. If you look at this monthly candle, this is actually month of April. You see any other candle here when it comes to the size. Like, yes, this was big, but you gotta think we went down 20%. This was just 9%. And not only, that, you can see right here, forget about trusting my analysis. I mean, look at this right here. Best monthly gains since April 2022. First monthly gain over 50 points ever. One of the most unforgettable months in stock market history. So the V shape was just insane. And I mean, this is also crazy that, Jensen behind you, Google, I think that headline will come out where Google takes over as most valuable company on earth, taking over Nvidia. That headline will come out at some point. I can almost guarantee you guys that that's going to come out. Now, with all that, you can see the sentiment here, kind of a 50-50 split between bear and bull, neutral 22.2%, fear and greed index 67. We finished at 67, so we're still in greed. And I would say we're in extreme greed if I have to do the reading because nobody's selling a goddamn thing in this market. They're buying one, two, three, 5 pennies. Those are dips you gotta buy if you wanna make money, and that's not gonna work. Buying those tiny dips in the market at all-time highs. We got some data today. Monday ISM we have. Then we got Joel's job opening. We'll see if that actually moves the market Tuesday. but nothing really big going on. Some more job related data, non-farm. Then we have more unemployment rate and non-farm payroll on Friday. Now, if you look at it, despite all that, you can see 52% was advancing today. But Dow, despite all that, from almost DIE almost 500 hitting and then backing off, closing near low of the session. Nasdaq backed off, still up 0.89%. S&P up 0.29%. Russell going up close to 0.5%. 11 sectors, and this is disturbing when you look at this. Yes, market hitting all-time highs. I mean, IWM did hit an all-time high as well today, then backed off a tiny bit. But look at this, technology on top, I get it. Consumer cyclical on top, I get it. But mostly everything pretty much in the red. Now, when you look at this, you'll be like, what the heck is going on? I mean, there is a lot of red all over the place. And what's green? Only one or two name from healthcare, and the rest is not software but chips, memory chips, and then you got Apple going up with earnings. Some software names like PLTR, Oracle, but these are beaten down. But basically, these are the ones, including Apple, ran the market today. Google was up too. Meta gave back, but mostly you can see was red for the day. A lot of red. So that just insane that you're seeing a lot of red on my screen on the stock market map, but the market was able to go up and hit an all-time high because market is relying on these names. That's how the market is going up the entire month, a historic rally in the market without any kinds of any sort of a pullback in the market, and it's just not healthy. And we'll talk about it when we get to the charts because what happened back then, I mean, compared to that, what we're getting right now, it's been a bigger move to the upside, guys. It's just insane. So, now I think we need to talk about especially AMD because they do have earnings coming out this week. And the way this thing is moving, I think we need to discuss AMD first. So let's get started on AMD. All right, so AMD is up once again, closing at a brand new all-time high, up for the day 1.71%. Now, this is actually 2000, and then you have 2008 financial crisis, and what you're seeing on my screen actually a monthly time frame. You can see right here. This is actually monthly, so longer time frame. So you can see it's pretty much exactly what happened here. We went up, 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 and just going straight up, right? Nothing. You see any pullback there? How many months just going straight up, ballistic? We got up to 48.50, and then the top was in. What happened? Look at this. Just have a look at this, guys. 48.50 down to these lows. It was down 71%. Now, if you look at this low down here, we went down by 83%. Okay, that's this one, right? This is the great financial crisis right here, and it was 42. It came down to almost a dollar, right? I mean, that just insane. Look at this, 96% correction. Now, that does not mean that I'm calling for a 96% correction or even forget about it, not even 50%. That's not why I'm showing you guys this. So it's pretty much the exact same move. Now, fast forward, I mean, look at how long it took for this thing to get out of this, downtrend. And then here's 2017, 2018. AMD became really famous, and these chip makers, semiconductors, they got really, famous by these moves because when the stock moves in the market big, it catches a lot of eyes, and that's how it actually becomes really famous, right? This was 2022. Even if you look at that, look at the top here, guys, and top to the bottom. I'm just doing a rough estimate. It was down quite a bit to the downside from the top. So now have a look at this. You guys have seen all these monthly candles, guys, all of them. Look at this. This is month of April. This was one right here, but that was out of the tariff, which I get it. But then we got a pullback, right? Decent pullback. But I don't think you can find another monthly candle like this on AMD in past times where AMD has been trading in this market. And today, another all-time high. Now, have a look at the daily time frame. I mean, this is just insane. So this was the low. That was like March 31st, right? And then if I go on top today, it's up almost 90%, $171 up. Why? Well, the only answer I have for you guys is AI. AI is the thing, and as long as you can mention AI or anything related to AI, things are just gonna push to the upside. Now, people will say, "Oh, you're just scaring people. You think the market is gonna crash." I don't have it. Usually, I'm always to the long side, mostly, trying to buy the dip. But this is why I'm actually making the video, mostly to the long side. I'm not calling for a crash, but things can happen. This is not normal, guys. Look at where are the red candles. If you consider this pullback, 310 was a dip buying opportunity, you're telling me, on AMD? Not even earnings, that's going to come out next week, and we're doing this, which is absolutely insane. So when you look at these, you can go look at MU, you can go look at Intel. You're gonna find the similar charts, especially on monthly time frame with 2000 dot-com bubble, and especially the great financial crisis, where we had these types of moves up, 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 and then give back 60, 70%. Now, I'm not calling for 60, 70%. Let's say AMD even pulls back in next couple of sessions, maybe even a month or two. If this thing comes down here, I mean, even if it comes down here, guys, this is still bullish. If we come back and retest previous all-time highs, it's totally bullish. There's nothing wrong with that. Is it going to come down next week? Is it going to come down the week after? I don't know. But we cannot be chasing these types of moves in the market. I see people especially on X. If anybody is commenting anything bearish and saying that top is in, which I get, a lot of people don't, like to see as they're holding long position market to go down, but it's not a healthy way. You guys saw the chart. Half of the more than 70% of the stocks they were red today, and market was able to go and make new all-time highs. Now, people that are just crazy bullish, they don't care about the chart, they don't care about anything. They're like, "Oh, my target on S&P is 8,000." It can come, don't get me wrong, but not on a move like that. It's crazy. So market ignoring everything, these stocks, the entire market running on these names. There's like 10, 15 names, and the Meg 7, Meg 8, including Broadcom, and then you have AMD, you have STX, Seagate, we have Western Digital, WDC, and the biggest animal out of all of them, which is SanDisk. I mean, at $27 stock, we have reached $1,200 per share today. And you thought car was getting a short squeeze and car was just some insane, short squeeze rally and bubble, then what is SanDisk? Let me know in the comment section. So that's my take. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not saying we're gonna crash and go down to zero, but the way things are looking, guys, this is exactly how things were back then, and nobody thought that we would ever come down, and we did. So if you're chasing these moves, I would say there is still time. You can stop and wait for some sort of a correction or some sort of a consolidation, pullback, something in that nature, and then you can buy, because there will be always opportunities. Market will be right here. You don't have to chase up here. So now AMD, if you look at my screen, 353, and it is insane that I have to say that. 353, we come in, that's going to be a support. Upside, there is nothing here. We're trading into blue sky, so I can give you targets, but you can go much, much higher if this thing wants to run like this vertical, right? If we get under 353, then watch out for that 5-day moving average, 342-ish right here. Underneath that, we could be coming down and retesting 330, 333, maybe even down here at 310. And then we can talk about more downside on AMD. On Nvidia, stock is down 0.5%. So this is another red flag, or I would say really suspicious in the market that, well, Nvidia was able to go on and make new all-time highs. This is Friday, this is Thursday, this is Wednesday, this was Tuesday, Monday we made all-time high. And what happened when you look at especially daily time frame or even weekly? I mean, look at this, guys. This is where we were last week, and this week we closed near low of the week and low of the day today, down here, barely holding 197 20-day moving average as a support. And this was a failed breakout to the upside. So yes, that is a double top, but we don't have any confirmation unless we break the neckline. So that's not in the picture right now, but that can come in. We do have earnings on May 20th. We'll see how that goes. But when you have Nvidia doing this and market doing the opposite thing, the market was actually going hand in hand with Nvidia before this rally that we had on Nvidia. But then yesterday we had a decent pullback on Nvidia, guys. At one point, this is why like people would think like, oh, this guy is all bearish and he probably bought puts and he's losing money and all that. It's not about that. It's about, what's the plan? I mean, what are you going to do here? So we had a 5% pullback yesterday on Nvidia. We had Microsoft down at one point almost 6% during cash market. So when market was open, then we had Meta down 10%. What other stock? I think even Qcom gave back some of those gains. Amazon was down. It did finish green at the end yesterday, Thursday. But then what happened? Did market go down actually? No, market went higher. So when you talk about the weight on S&P, especially from the Magnificent Seven, some of those stocks, as a matter of fact, four of them, they were red, including Nvidia with this massive bearish engulfing candle and the weekly reversal, right? Massive reversal, it's look above and fell. So we're back below previous all-time highs. You cannot call this, some, bullish breakout here on Nvidia. But despite all that, market was able to make brand new all-time high. So that is the red flag here in the market. And even if you look at XLF, it was not able to go up even today. I think it did finish somewhere red. Not sure exactly. I'll look into it when I do the stock market update. But again, Nvidia here. So market is not what do you think market is doing? This is not healthy. This is not something that you have seen. This is not what I have seen before. I've been in this market for quite some time, 2 decades, and nobody have ever witnessed this vertical rally in the market ever before. And I can speak for myself, but I think a lot of you guys will admit that nobody saw it coming. Otherwise, I had so many swings, long position that I, took profit along the way, but I wasn't even thinking about, 725 on SPY, let alone Nvidia going and making brand new all-time high in just 1 month, 4 weeks. And even today we had another all-time high. So it actually got over a month into 2 months almost. So going into Monday, if you see Nvidia coming down here, 196, it does not hold here. This pivot point right here, we could be coming down, and this is like 3 Friday ago, we had this gap up and go. There is a gap at 189. We're gonna fill that gap on Nvidia, and if that happens, at some point, S&P will retrace back to the downside. If we get over 203, where you can see 203 exactly to the point, rejection came in today. 203 breaks, then you will see 207, maybe into the previous all-time high, 212 on Nvidia. On Google stock, it's a 0.34%. So this is why I did show you guys that from TrendSpider, that Google is about to be a $5 trillion company. Whether you like it or not, that's going to be headline at some point. I'm pretty positive about that because we just need maybe a couple of dollar worth of upside here, and we're going to hit that. Headline is going to come out, and that's why, who knows, maybe that's why Nvidia backing off. So this one can make headline. It's all rotation in between these big names, guys, which is insane how things are working in the market because they're not buying anything else. They just keep buying. One day you would see Google going up, or a few other names, big names going up, or the semiconductors. Another day you'll see let's say SanDisk, or maybe even AMD coming down. You see a few other names coming down, but then you see WDC or maybe even Intel going up. So rotation in between these names, 10, 15 names, including the Magnificent Eight. They're just rotating in between these stocks. Nothing new, nothing special. They're not going and buying Disney. They're not going buying LMT, RTX, nothing like that. They're not going buying anything crazy, but just these names. And that's how we got to all-time highs. Look at this one here. $4.64 trillion. I mean, I would call this 5T now because it's almost catching up to Nvidia. So if you see a breakout over these highs, 383.39, it's probably going to get to 390, and it's going to make that, uh, you know, headline. If we see some sort of a retracement down, watch out for today's low as a support, 375, and then down here, 362. If we take that out at some point after making the headline, we will be coming down and filling this gap, which is very likely within maybe I would say 6 to 8 weeks. We will fill this gap at 353 because yes, it has room to the upside, but look at how many gap up and go we had on Google, and in top of that, with earning, they just smashed it, and this thing went up even more. So if you're thinking about this, like, okay, earnings are good, everything is good. We already had this massive run up. In top of that, earnings came out, another gap up and go. If this is not some sort of a bubble type move to the upside, not only Google, on many other stocks, then I don't know what it is, guys. On Amazon stock, it's up 1.21%. So Amazon, you can see yesterday, we were up actually, brand new all-time high. Then we backed off. We came all the way down. But at the end of the day, look at previous closing here, 265, pretty much closing at a new high, and not really going red for the day, even though this thing came all the way down. It was looking really bad. And today we were not able to take out this high. So if 273.88 we take it out, we might be going up to 280. If this thing comes down, takes out 264, that's going to be the level to watch. 264 to 265 come Monday. Then watch out for downside, maybe into previous all-time highs, 258.65, and then possibly down here to 250. This one also had a massive move to the upside, and unfortunately, not like Google, where gapping up and just going to another brand new all-time high. It did initially, but then it actually backed off and gave back all those gains, and now just consolidating for possibly another move back up to the upside. We'll see how that goes next week. On Meta, it's down 0.5%. So I actually played Meta today from 607 to 615-ish, got out for a nice day trade profit there. And then this thing backed off again because I didn't want to hold it, and it was not meant for a day trade, swing trade anyway. It was meant for a day trade, and it's all over the place. So this one here, after this big run up, they did beat on earnings, but the AI spending is just too much. Zuckerberg is just spending too much money on this thing, and that's why you're seeing the effect in the price of Meta. But that theme goes with everybody. Everybody's spending too much money, that AI is just gonna replace everything, and I don't think that's the case. One small spark weakness somewhere, within these AI stocks, and everything will come down really fast, just like the way they went up. So Meta had a massive rally, and now we're backing up. I think a good area, if this thing somehow comes down, right now it looks bearish because we're under this monthly, weekly trend line. So if it comes here, that would be nice dip. But I don't know if we're gonna get that. If this thing goes up and gets over the 6:30 mark. Well, first of all, 6:15, and we get over 6:30, we could be going in to fill the gap at some point. But like I said, I'm not really interested in Meta. The way things are trading, it's all over the place. So we got a gap on top, we got a bunch of gaps on bottom. I mean, it's sitting in the middle. We need to see which one Meta is going to actually go for. Is it going to be the one on top from earnings, or maybe we come down some more selling, and then finally we can catch it, back up to the upside. On Tesla stock is up 2.41%. So you can see Tesla was up, but again, I don't like the way this thing got rejected from 398, almost getting close to 400. But you can see right here, we got rejection, and now it's holding 390, holding over uh 50-day moving average. So 384, that's going to be your line in the sand for next week. You can see right here, and I'm just rounding things up. It's 380, 371, so 384. If it gets underneath that, watch out. There will be some, downside in the short term. We can come down to 380, 375-ish, possibly 372. If this thing continues next week, we saw some volume today, nice catalyst, some news. If this thing continues, gets over 400, maybe we can come up and retest these highs around 407 to 408 on Tesla. On Apple, stock is up 3.24%. They beat on earnings, and it was a nice move to the upside. But I have my concerns about the move to the upside because look at this candle, guys. Massive rejection. We got really close to all-time highs, almost hitting a brand new all-time high, but then we backed off and now just closing at 280. So we have to see how this plays out. I think one small dip and you're going to fill the gap at 276. That's totally possible here on Apple. Now, Apple is the only efficient stock in the market, at least in my view. And why? Because Apple, you can see, I mean, a lot of consolidation. And now if this thing breaks out, over 288, I mean, this thing is holding up for pretty much a year now and just trading in this range, no breakout, nothing. And this is actually, I don't think I like anything else, better than Apple. And if this thing breaks out, that would be something to watch. But again, respecting the technicals, you can see the Bollinger Band sitting at 280, the stock respecting and coming back within the Bollinger Band, pulling in, but still staying green on the day. But when you look at something like SanDisk, maybe even AMD or some of the other names, these AI players, well, if you do a technical dive in on those right now, I'm not talking about all the time, especially last 1 month into up until now, it's barely working. If you're somebody who doesn't know anything and just wakes up in the morning and buys calls, uh, not knowing anything, where they're chasing or not, or where they're buying, how high they're buying, yeah, you got lucky, you're making money, but there was no opportunities, there was no technicals, nothing was working. They were just going straight up and still going up without any kind of higher lows and higher highs. That's not in this market happening. So Apple 280 breaks, 277 to 276 gap fill reversal possible. If that happens here, definitely look into it. If that holds, maybe you can play it back up to all-time highs again. Also, if you look at it, I mean, if you look at from this angle on a weekly time frame, maybe this is just a bull flag here. We're just consolidating, and if this thing breaks out over 288, we can possibly go into 300 plus on Apple. But as of right now, these are key zones to watch, and especially when the market's sitting at all-time highs. Well, some cases market comes down, Apple does not really move, uh, because Apple is a name where when everything is selling off, it can just stay flat or maybe even green in some cases, or maybe will give up like 1% because a lot of the big boys, they park their money on Apple when the market actually pulling back really hard. So we'll see about that, if something like that happens in next few sessions. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up with Netflix and also Broadcom. But since this video is getting longer, I just wanna have a look at the stock SanDisk. So last night after earnings, yes, they have beat on earnings, but this is actually a daily time frame on SanDisk, and you can see, I mean, not just about a year ago, this thing was like what, the 30-40 dollars, and now look at today, guys, $1,200. And this is actually a channel here on SanDisk, and you can see we went up, we came back in a little bit here. we are outside of this channel. And last few corrections we had, it was like about 27 to 30% correction. Look at the MACD here. I mean, it's pointing straight up. Extremely overbought. As this thing makes brand new all-time high, did the RSI go higher? Absolutely not. You can see a bearish divergence here, building on the RSI while the stock's just going ripping higher. Another AI player or the semi here is MU. I mean, this thing also, you can see we're actually sitting just above that channel right here. You can see we got rejection, we got pullback, a couple of back and forth moves, and then we had this move to the downside. So if the this is the case, watch out. Maybe we come down here in the middle of the channel, and same thing goes for AMU as well. You can see the bearish divergence building here as we go into brand new all-time high. Even the MACD indicator did not go into a new all-time high. This was the previous one, and you can see a lot of bearish divergence building here. But as of right now, if I tell you this is bearish and you're new in the market, you don't know about this, you're gonna be like, this guy is just not doing the right things. I don't like him. He wants the stock to come down. I mean, look at the valuation of this thing. I mean, it's 550 almost, guys. And where was this thing? I mean, I can see the growth. I can see the stock goes up over time, but not in this manner. This is madness. I mean, just straight up every day up. I mean, this thing rallied off of these lows. I mean, it was around 300. And now you're talking about 550 on this thing. It's just insane. Netflix, the stock that like I would say completely different things about Netflix here. Nice, a little bit of bounce happened a few days ago, and today, even today, was green, but at one point this thing did break down. You can see 94 we're not holding, so that key zone around 91 needs to hold, and we need the breakout over 94 to get to 97. Just consolidating here. Looks like we're forming some sort of a bottom here. We'll see if this MACD indicator crosses back up to the upside. If that happens, we will see some movement to the upside here on Netflix. Broadcom is another one, a big name here, and you can see, I mean, this thing also, yes, we got to a brand new all-time high here on Broadcom. You can see the RSI definitely making a lower high, the stock going even higher, and even the MACD indicator looks like it wants to cross over to the downside. I mean, this thing also just going ballistic. So if you look at my screen, that support right here, right about this zone here, 419. If that gives up, maybe we come down and retest right here, right around 394, 393, but it's nowhere near to the upside. We might be going back up and retesting right here. That's going to be around 429, 430. So we'll see how that goes here on Broadcom. But as of right now, not really a sign of weakness where this thing would come down, crashing down anytime soon. What I would look for if this is gonna get any sort of a pullback, you want to look at something at least on a weekly scale or daily, some sort of a inverted hammer, maybe even a massive. We did have one here. We had a little bit of pullback, but it's not enough. I mean, it was just few dollars pullback. You want to see some significant selling, maybe close some of these gaps, maybe 50% retracement from this bottom to the top. That would be your buying opportunity. But as of right now, with every other AI players, this thing also going to the moon. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated. And I'll be putting out also stock market updates. So keep your eye on. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and you have the bell notification on so you can see all those updates that are coming out possibly later on the week.